Under the cloak of night, rain-slicked city streets mirror the neon glow, casting a somber spell as Mark, a weary Uber driver, awaits his next passenger. The city's vibrant lights cast a stark contrast to Mark's weary eyes and the heavy atmosphere, hinting at the unsettling events about to unfold. In the subdued ambiance of an Uber car, Mark collects Anna, her delicate features framed by an old-fashioned gown. As an undercurrent of mystery settles in, Anna whispers a cryptic address, her hushed tone amplifying the growing suspense within the car. In the confined space, their interaction is minimal, yet Anna's presence fills the car with an undeniable sense of palpable tension. On a desolate road, the car headlights slice through the oppressive darkness, revealing an unnerving solitude. In a horrifying instant, Anna disappears from the back seat, leaving Mark in stunned disbelief. The screech of tires pierces the silence as Mark slams on the brakes, his world tilting on its axis. Mark twists around in frantic disbelief. The empty back seat, a chilling testament to Anna's disappearance. The sudden disappearance leaves him shaken and confused. In the confines of an Uber car, Mark collects his next passenger. A silent, formidable man whose stern gaze pierces the night. Despite his best efforts, Mark finds the lingering tension from the previous passenger amplified by the man's unsettling presence. The man's unyielding silence and fixed stare intensify Mark's discomfort, turning the small car into a crucible of suspense. In the confined space of the Uber, the man begins a terrifying dance with reality, fading in and out of existence as Mark drives. Mark glimpses into the rearview mirror, his heart pounding against his ribs as his passenger's presence becomes increasingly unstable. In a moment of sheer terror, the man vanishes completely, leaving Mark alone with his paranoia. In Mark's cramped apartment, eerie shadows dance across his face as he desperately searches for answers in the security footage, hoping to unravel the mystery behind the strange disappearances. He's determined to find out how could someone vanish without a trace. The screen becomes a portal into the unknown, each frame a potential clue to a terrifying reality. Inside the Uber, grainy security footage unveils Anna's horrifying transformation. Her body spasms violently. A spectral form emerges, revealing her true, monstrous nature. In a horrifying climax, Anna vanishes, leaving Mark paralyzed with terror. Mark recoils in disbelief, his face frozen in a mask of pure, unadulterated terror. Distorted by the grainy security camera, a man's form flickers, threatening to dissolve into nothingness. In a horrifying flash, his face contorts into a skull-like mask, revealing a glimpse of the supernatural horror beneath. Mark realizes he is battling something from beyond the veil, something undeniably evil. In the confines of his Uber, Mark's hesitation battles with an insatiable need for answers. A morbid curiosity and a desperate quest for truth compel him to accept the ride request, plunging him deeper into the unknown. As he nears the pickup, an overwhelming sense of dread permeates the car, turning every shadow into a harbinger of fear. Under the cloak of night, an old, overgrown cemetery looms, its ancient gates creaking open, as if inviting eternal rest. Mark steps into the graveyard, each step amplifying the silence, deepening the sense of unease. Moonlight weaves through the tombstones, creating a macabre dance of shadows that hints at forgotten stories. From the inky abyss, shadowy figures materialize, their eyes burning with an eerie glow as they invade Mark's car, heralding an unsettling encounter. Mark finds himself ensnared as the car transforms into a spectral cage. Their voices resonate with a chilling echo, enveloping Mark in a vortex of fear and uncertainty. In the confined space of the Uber, ordinary passengers morph into grotesque figures, cornering Mark in a chilling dance of terror. Trapped, Mark finds his vehicle transformed into a stage for his deepest fears, as the air vibrates with unseen, supernatural forces. The Uber transforms into a nightmarish cage, sealing Mark's fate within its metallic confines. The car's interior becomes a vortex of supernatural energy. Confined within the Uber car, Mark's escape is thwarted by spectral figures, their frigid touch instilling a profound chill. The ghostly grasp tightens, threatening to transform him into one of their own. Desperation and horror meld into a nightmarish tableau. The Uber speeds through the city's veins, its neon lights reflecting in Mark's vacant eyes. Unbeknownst to Mark, one of the spectral figures now pilots their ride, guiding him toward an unknown fate. Mark begins his spectral transformation, his very essence fading into the night. In the stark confines of the police station, Detective Washington pores over Mark's case files, his brow furrowed in contemplation. Grainy security footage and a missing person report hint at a perplexing mystery. Detective Washington casually dismisses the case with a wave of his hand. Just a prank, or maybe someone's seeing things. Nothing to worry about. Little does he know, supernatural forces are subtly weaving a web of mystery around the seemingly simple case. Under the cloak of night, another Uber driver, Sarah, unknowingly accepts a ride request that will lead her down a path of chilling repetition. The GPS screen ominously glows, revealing a destination steeped in dread. The same cemetery where Mark's passengers disappeared without a trace. The cycle of vanishing passengers is set to begin anew, hinting at an unending horror. In the confines of an Uber car, a passenger's unsettling silence hangs heavy, casting a shadow of unease over Sarah. Sarah nervously steals glances in the rearview mirror, her apprehension growing with each passing moment. On an isolated highway at night, Sarah's grip tightens as she drives, her knuckles white against the steering wheel. Beside her, the passenger's form begins to glitch and distort, mirroring the chilling footage Mark had revealed. A silent scream wells up in Sarah's throat as her eyes widen in terror, witnessing the horrifying transformation. The car swerves violently, tires screeching against the asphalt as Sarah loses control, plunging deeper into chaos. Inside the Uber, Sarah fights to maintain composure as an unsettling metamorphosis overtakes her passenger. The car's interior plunges into an icy grip as the air vibrates with an eerie, supernatural power. On the deserted road, headlights slice through the inky blackness as terror grips Sarah, her world about to transform into a nightmare. Beside her, a grotesque metamorphosis unfolds, twisting the familiar into a monstrous entity. Sarah sits rigid, paralyzed by the sheer horror of the unfolding metamorphosis. Confined within the Uber, a monstrous entity explodes into existence, its gaze burning with malevolent intent as it lunges towards Sarah. Sarah unleashes a scream that tears through the confined space, her desperate struggle for survival igniting against the overwhelming power of the entity. The Uber transforms into a battleground, with Sarah fighting back with fierce determination, her every move a testament to her will to live. The monstrous entity, an embodiment of overwhelming force, dominates the struggle, its presence suffocating Sarah's every breath. In the dead of night, a spectral figure materializes from the cemetery gates, drawn by an unseen force. Mark, now a ghostly apparition, advances towards Sarah's car, his ethereal form shimmering in the darkness. Compelled by the haunting cycle, Mark's spectral gaze is fixed on Sarah's car, a beacon in the silent graveyard. In the confines of an Uber car, Mark fearlessly intervenes, tearing the monstrous entity away from Sarah, igniting a cataclysmic spectral clash. The vehicle becomes a battleground, violently shaking as a supernatural duel unfolds between Mark and the monstrous entity, threatening to tear the car apart. Amidst the chaos, Sarah watches with terror as Mark fights a monstrous entity. Under the cloak of night, a car grinds to a halt on the desolate road, the echoes of a spectral battle fading into silence. Emerging from the vehicle, Sarah is visibly shaken yet alive, her eyes wide with the haunting memories of what just transpired. In a chilling fade, Mark and the monstrous entity dissolve into the blackness, leaving Sarah alone with the lingering dread. Inside the sterile confines of the police station, Sarah relives her harrowing ordeal, each word painting a vivid picture of terror. Detective Washington, a fortress of professional skepticism, listens intently, his face an impassive mask concealing the subtle doubts that begin to surface. As Sarah recounts the eerie parallels to Mark's vanishing, a flicker of doubt dances across the detective's eyes, betraying his growing unease. The detective's initial dismissal crumbles as he begins to question the easy answers. In the dark city streets, an Uber driver's face is illuminated by a ride request, the pickup point ominously near the cemetery. The camera gazes skyward, revealing a full moon that casts an eerie, silver glow over the city, hinting at a haunting cycle. The cycle of vanishing passengers continues, as the night sky looms with silent dread. In the confines of an Uber car, an unsuspecting driver welcomes a passenger, unaware of the lurking darkness. A fleeting, unnatural flicker in the passenger's eyes hints at a terrifying secret concealed beneath a normal facade. Under the cloak of night, a shortcut through a creepy alley intensifies the growing sense of unease. The driver navigates the darkness, unaware of the unsettling presence beside him. Silence amplifies the tension as the passenger's presence grows increasingly unsettling. In the confines of an Uber, a passenger abruptly vanishes into thin air, leaving behind an echoing void. The driver's world turns upside down as they witness the impossible, a gasp betraying their mounting horror. Screeching tires pierce the night as the car swerves violently, a desperate attempt to halt the inexplicable. Panic grips the driver, their knuckles turning white as they fight to maintain control amidst the unfolding nightmare. In the eerie alley, the driver cautiously approaches the back seat, only to discover it chillingly empty. A cold wind sweeps through the alley, carrying whispers of ghostly voices. The driver's face contorts in fear and confusion as he realizes the passenger is gone. Inside the Uber, the driver's frantic search yields nothing, as an unsettling chill permeates the car's interior. The once familiar space of the Uber now feels sinister and foreign, amplifying the driver's growing dread. An ominous stillness settles in, turning the mundane car ride into a chilling nightmare. The driver explodes from the alley's entrance, his desperate cries tearing through the oppressive silence. His pleas hang in the air, unanswered, as the desolate alley remains indifferent to his terror. Silence returns, heavier and more menacing than before, as the alley reclaims its secrets and the horror it hides. Within the silent confines of an abandoned Uber, a security camera bears witness to spectral figures dancing in the shadows. Glimpses of ethereal forms flicker and fade, their spectral presence a haunting reminder of what once was. The spectral figures lurk in the darkness, their silent dance painting a chilling portrait of the unseen. In the heart of the oblivious city, Uber cars glide past a shadowy alley, their drivers unaware of the supernatural events unfolding. The cycle of vanishing passengers persists, unnoticed by the oblivious city. In the sterile confines of the police station, Detective Washington begins to confront the chilling reality hidden within the missing person report. His face, etched with growing concern, mirrors the unsettling details that challenge his initial skepticism. As the pieces fall into place, a palpable unease descends, hinting at a sinister truth lurking beneath the surface. Detective Washington suspects the cases are more sinister than what they appear. Under the cold, watchful eye of the moon, tombstones cast eerie shadows across the desolate cemetery, where the spectral figures of Mark and the vanished passengers linger. Trapped between worlds, Mark and his fellow passengers wander aimlessly among the graves, their spectral forms a haunting reminder of their lost lives.